Okay, this is day 104, and I think it's part 5. So I'm going to ask everybody to think with me on this one. Let's suppose you wanted to bring in people from another country, and your idea is to get them placed as high in these buildings as possible, not at Judicial Watch, but NASA, okay? Get them placed in a job as high as possible, okay? So they're probably not going to start out, well, maybe they will start out in the Congress, right over here at Teresa Grafenstein's office. But for the most part, let's use data to get them a better job, okay? Let's suppose they've been doing work overseas in surveillance, overhead surveillance, maybe even for their own country, like NADRA in Pakistan, okay? They've got experience. So we're going to start with this data. Now, if we could take this data and give it to other companies that are involved in contracting for surveillance, like SAIC, who's been a leader in this, and I visited their headquarters in San Diego before. Lots of computers to do image analysis, lots of supercomputers there, okay? Those folks like SAIC, and it turns out this other company I talked about yesterday, Leidos, Leidos, also use that type of information. Now here's the thing. You don't have much money when you're coming in. You want to use that data, but you don't have any money. So, like Trey Dowdy says, is when are you going to pay for something? So let's walk down the street and show you how to avoid paying any money. And we're going to target not only NASA, but we're going to target these other companies that have spun off. And I made a mistake yesterday about Leidos, and I'm correcting it now. They were a part of it, and all of a sudden I'm doing the Trey Gotti. They were a part of SAIC doing surveillance and analysis, and they've spun out, and now they're going to combine with Lockheed, another company that does surveillance and analysis with satellites and so forth. Also the mining applications as well. So there's a repeating theme. Was the guy who ran NASA, by the way, back there for the Apollo project, was his name George Mueller? Mueller? So let's do this. I got a great idea. We'll get our folks into the small businesses, and we'll start them off. Once we get them established with a job at NASA or something and get that on their resume, we'll come over here to the Small Business Administration, okay? And we'll print them a business card. I'll have, if I was smart, I'd be like Imran and have a pre-printed form letter, you know, with House of Representatives already written in for a 3-month assignment, and then NASA already written in. And now we're going to put in ABC Company. And this is where you're going to get loans. Now, most of the time, these loans are known as set aside. The reason they're set aside is for people who've been living here that been in traditionally poor neighborhoods, like let's say Anacostia here in DC, where, you know, your job is to try to avoid gunfire, used to in the old days. And you know, it's kind of hard to study, you know, so you get a set aside business to kind of give you a leg up, right? It's not meant for people that came in when they're 20 or 18 to then get the loan, okay? And it's not meant for companies that are 40,000 people, okay, like Conceros Conceris. Okay, so there's Teresa Grafenstein right there. I would be here if I was trying to help, and that was my program. I'm not saying Teresa Grafenstein was in this program, Inter-America. I'm not saying Inter-America is that program that brings people in from other countries. Oh, wait, it is. You're close. You're pretty close. So, just give you an idea of the proximity of things. Now, the other way to get data is, let's say you have your small business. Now, you say, how can I get that for free? Well, what you do is you have what's known as a university consortium, and you have NASA down the street over there give you all the data. That's a good deal. Resources for the future. And then you can use it and sell it for your different surveillance applications for countries all over the world, for both military use, political use. I mean, well, I guess political use. You can track your enemies, I guess. Hillary would certainly find a use for that. And then also mining, oil, etc. You combine it with some explosions here and there, you could really go to town. So that's in that University Space Research, but gosh darn it, you can't find it. You can't find it. we've looked all over for it, you know. And I'm with a detective. So down there, and there's the Museum of the Bible. So Conceros, the company I was talking about, and Leidos, both are spinoffs from big corporations. I think you're going to find that Conceros is a spinoff from DynCorp, and Leidos is a spinoff from SAIC, the global leader in space research and you know, surveillance. So I mean, there's no doubt about that. So, but they both have the big fiber going straight to CIA headquarters. One is in Reston, Virginia, which is Leidos, and the other is Conceros. So I know this is a little bit lengthy, but I had to straighten it out. Made a couple of fine point errors, but always when you make the error, a whole bunch of other stuff comes up, and then we'll finish it off with the Rayburn phone booth. How about that? So if we go over there and look straight, whoops, sorry. If you look straight over there, the John Wilkes phone booth. It all comes together. The disk drives come this way, go down that way. The data from NASA comes over there. It all meets over here, and you can have a GeoSat chat.